Welcome to the session, guys. In our previous session, we have gone through it, basic RPMs installation, and also we checked the ASM disk groups, shared disk groups, how we are going to create and how to add disks to our virtual machines, and then we make the partitions. After that, we have created the ASM disks on OS level. Now we are ready to do uh, grid installation. For that, what we need to do, highlights. We need to unzip download the grid software and DB software from edelivery.com. Download grid infrastructure and DB software from edelivery.oracle.com. From this site, we need to download the Oracle and grid infrastructure binaries. edelivery.oracle.com. So this we already saw in our one of the previous session there. We have downloaded our Linux binaries, whatever it is, like all the Oracle related binaries, we can download it from this edelivery.com site. For this, you need to sign in, and you can, if you don't have an account, you can create it. Like create an account, clicking on this button and provide your personal details like personal mail ID and your other details. You can create it and sign into this account as usual. I'll just go ahead and then give the overview. Now what I want to download, Oracle database software 19C. Just type Oracle 19C database. We want to download the cluster one, right? Just you can select it, Enterprise Edition, or search it, that's fine. So you can select this thing. 19.3 is the latest one, and we have a 23C NoSQL database, 21.3 some enterprise edition. So many things is there, but long-term support as of now, we are going to select this. Once you clicked on that, it will add to your cart here in this location. From this location, you can click on continue. That's it. Here you need to select the platform. We are going to install this software on our Linux machine, x86 64-bit versions. Once you select it over there, it will select all of these things. So we don't need all of these things. We need to select only few things. This grid infrastructure one, and uncheck this one, client, HTTP server, and NoSQL database edition. So only these two you can check it and then continue. This one 2.7 GB and this one is 2.8 GB. This is for your database software, and this is your cluster software, database grid infrastructure. ASM plus cluster binaries will be there. Accept the terms and conditions and then click next. See, a database software version is 982063. This is a software file, and 982068 for grid infrastructure. These softwares I already placed in our shared drive. Okay, here it is. Go to Jan batch thing and all softwares and patches. Here you have 19C grid software. Download this patch for grid infrastructure and this 982063 patch for database. So download these two patches from this link. This one is for database and this one is for grid infrastructure. These are for other patches. Okay, normal patches. So those two patches is here. Once you are in this location, click download option. It will download the Oracle Manager tool. From there, this one will be downloaded. You can open this. And then which location you want to download, just select that location, click on next. It will start the downloading both the files. Okay, as of now, I'm not going to download it. Just for your information, I'm going to place this. Okay, let me make it up. From this site, we need to download this patch and this one. Using this download manager, download these two patches. As of now, I mean, these patches we already have. So I'm not going to download these two patches again. In this way, we are going to download the patches. You can say software also. You can say software. All the Oracle softwares, we can download it from this site. Okay, that is done. Next, what we need to do? Once we have downloaded the partition, means software, we need to unzip the software, right? We need to unzip the software. Where we need to unzip? Grid software, we are going to unzip in this location, U02 location. And the database software, we are going to unzip in the Oracle home location, which we have created yesterday. Let me show you those things. Yeah, here I'll show you. Clear screen. LS-LTR. This is our grid home, guys, where we are going to unzip our grid software. Okay. And we have a database home also, where we are going to, I'm going to configure my database home under U01 mount point. U02 mount point I'm using for grid. Two different mount points. If you want to use, you can use the same mount point also. So in this location, I'm going to download and unzip my database software. So we have two softwares, right? Now what I need to do, I can close this. It is not required. It's already downloaded. So too fast, even I'm pausing. That's okay. What else? Yeah, let me take this. Yeah, this 63982063 is our database software that we need to unzip it into this location. And this 2068. This is our grid infrastructure software that we need to unzip into 19.00 grid. This you can create it any kind of naming conversion, and the path also should not be like this. Okay, as per your convenience, as per your understanding, you can create one path. Okay, one directory you can create. Inside of that, you can create multiple directories wherever you want. Even if you want to install your grid software in this location, yes, you can do that. You can do that, but we required certain kind of directories where we need to make our base. First, we need, if you want to install this grid software, we need base location and also Vara inventory location for this. And if you want to install the software, we need base location and Vara inventory location. I'll tell you as part of that installation where what is mean by the base location, what is mean by the Vara inventory location. So for that purpose, we are going to create multiple directories. Inside of that, we are going to unzip our software. Okay, now we are going ahead and then unzip it the software into grid location. So I have connected to the grid user, but my software is in my local desktop. So I need to connect it to root user on node 1. Done. So this is my node 1. Let me set the color for this. Set up the color. Green is my node 1. Let me remove this as well. This is also node 1 I connected. Node 2 I'll connect it. Okay. Node 2 this one. RAC lab 2 is our node 2. This I'll make it red color. RAX 1 is our lab 1, node 1. Okay, for your information, whatever the softwares we are going to download and unzipping only on node 1. We are not going to unzip on node 2. Why? Because these things, no, to configure your node, multi-node rack, if you are downloading the software, you are going to do anything, configuring the cluster from one node only, we are going to do it. Remaining things internally, it will do it on node 2. If we have a 4 node also, we are going to do it on node 1 only to download the softwares and unzip the software. That is the beauty of the cluster infrastructure related things. Okay, I'm not going to do it on node 2. Only I'm unzipping the software on node 1 for grid infrastructure software unzip. Okay, unzip grid GI software. I can type grid infrastructure software on node 1 only. So in which location I'm going to download this software? U02 mount point app 19C grid. This is my home location. In this location, I'm going to unzip it. See, in this location, we don't have any files as of now. I just created for our grid infrastructure home. Okay. My softwares, and this is my local media. Local media means we have created the shared directory, right? This one, shared folder. This is the shared folder which I have created. So this shared folder is having 277 GB size, but we have given to this entire machine, I given only 80 gig. Entire machine I given 80 gig. How this 277 gig came? This is a shared folder. This is originally placed into your local machine. We are accessing that storage from my local machine to this remote machine, our RAC lab one. That is why we need to use shared folders. Okay, this is our virtual machine shared folder. Okay, so in this location where I placed my softwares, 19C software. See, in this path, I have a path directly I can access, but I want to show you one by one how we need to go. This is our 19C grid software location. Here we have so many files, but this file only we need to unzip it. This only one file. That is only one file, right? We have downloaded. Where is the snip? Here it is. So 0982068 is for our grid infrastructure software. See here, you can read it also. Oracle Database Grid Infrastructure 19.3 is the base version for Linux operating system. Okay. This one, how we need to unzip? By using unzip command. Let me clear it. ls-ltr. Unzip. Which one you want to unzip? This file. If I can enter, this file is unzipped into this location only, local location, but I don't want to unzip this file here. I want to unzip this file into different directory. Then we need to mention -d. -d means directory. On which directory? Destination. Which destination you want to unzip? I want to unzip to U02 app 19C grid location. This is my grid location. Same directory should be there here. In node 2, the directory structure should be same. Whatever the directory structure in node 1, similarly, the same structure should be there. We don't have any files on node 2. Okay, we are doing only on node 1. We are unzipping that files. Let me show you duplicate session. U02 app 19C grid location. On node 1, we don't have any files now under our grid home location. Now I'm going to unzip it. Let me take a snap of this, and for that, Control X or Control C, I'll make it clear screen, PWD from this location to LSF. For you, it could be a different location. As per your thing, it should be there. Unzip V98-D U02 app 19C grid location. This one we need to use it. So I'm going to unzip the software to in this location. It will take time, like 1 minute or something like that. It is going to unzip it. Now we can see the files. See, same. I have taken another session of node 1. It is going to creating the folders, unzipping the data. From which location to which location? From this software location to U02 location. Software is going to unzipping. See, earlier it is showing only a few files. Now we have more and now more. This is the important one. By using this tool, grid setup.sh script, we are going to configuring the grid infrastructure. Like grid software, cluster software, ASM software, whatever it is, everything we can call it as a grid infrastructure. By using this grid setup.sh, we are going to configure. See, almost all the files has been unzipped. We'll see that it is going on still. So where the files are going to inflating, it means it is going to unzip it, u0 to app 19.00 grid location. These many files are going to unzip it. Once we unzip this thing, right, we need to do a few setups. Why? Because the same files, whatever it is there, those need to be copied from node 1 to node 2. We are not going to do it. Okay, as part of grid setup, once you have initiated this grid setup one, this file needs to be copied from this node to this node. How that will happen? We need to enable, for that reason only, we need to enable the passwordless connection in between the nodes. Passwordless connection. If I want to do the copy from one node to another node, we need to provide the password for this node to here, source to destination one, right? So we need to enable the passwordless connection in between node 1 and node 2. Then only internally this grid setup.sh will copy and it will sync in between the nodes without any password prompt. Okay, it's almost there. Yeah, done. Software unzip is completed. Grid software. Now what we need to do, we can do the password less setup. And also we need to install on RPM also that we can see it. U02. Okay. ASMDIS groups, that is fine. Passwordless connection. If you want to enable the passwordless connection, we need to execute this script from the grid location. And then we need to mention our nodes, node 1 and node 2. This is a new feature, guys. In our older versions, what we need to do is we need to use SSH keygen. This is the tool to generate the keys into in your server, one node, and then we need to read the ID underscore RSA key. This is the password actually, server level password. It will store it. This we need to make it under authorized keys. This file we need to copy from node 1 to node 2. In between those nodes, we need to copy that file. Then what will happen? Server level authentication is happening without the password providing. This will generate the key for us, but this is an old method. But new method, what is this? In new method, we have the grid software level itself. SSH user setup is the tool we can use to do the passwordless connection. How that will work, I'll show you now. Okay, software has been unzipped. Okay, that is done. Now, whatever the files we have in this location, all are holding with root user and root group. But that is not the correct. We should not use this root and root for installing your group, this thing, grid infrastructure. For that, we need to change this user, root user to grid user, and this is a group. Root group, we should not use root group. We need to use O install. Why? Because ID Oracle, ID grid, you can type. Our user is grid and our group is for grid user. We have given the O install group. This user and this group we need to assign to all the files. How we need to do? We can do it by using chown, ch owner, change owner. This means, let me clear the screen. Chown -rf grid is my user, colon, O install is my group, to entire files inside of your U02. Whatever the files it is there, recursively it is going to provide this user and group to all the files and directories under U02. Now we can see root user I have updated to grid user, and O install root group I have changed it to O install. And also I want to make sure here we having 755 privilege. 755. 7 means read, write, execute. 5 means read, only execute, no write permission. And here also 5 means read, there is no write permission. So if I could give ch mode, change mode, -rf 777 to my u02, then what will happen? I'll show you now. See here. 777 means read write execute for user, read write execute for groups, read write execute for others. Everybody can able to access once they have a server access. They can do it, read, write, modification, delete, insert, updates, anything. Not the delete, update, inserts. I can say OS level, we can say they can edit this file, they can remove this file, they can do modifications of this file in OS level. Why? Because we have given full rights to others. And groups also we have given full rights. So how to change these things? By using this, we need to provide the privileges. That is one thing. So I have given full rights to this thing, and then now we need to connect to node 1 only with grid user. So node 1, RAC lab 1, I connected with grid user and go to U02 where we have unzipped app 19C grid location. Here we have a software, right? Here do we have deinstall related one? Yes. Under deinstall, we have SSH user setup. Okay. Under deinstall, see here I went to Oracle grid home. I can say grid home location. Under grid home, I went to deinstall. This is the directory. Under this directory, we have SSH user setup. Passwordless connection. This is the script we need to use. Okay. This script we can use, and then we can make a passwordless connection in between node 1 and node 2. Okay. Let me execute this SSH script. User is grid and host names. What are all our hosts? Lab 1 is our one host, and lab 2 is our another host. If you have multiple nodes, you can add all the nodes. Okay. This you need to do it to connect to the Oracle grid user, and we need to do this. Do it from this location, advanced. So it is going to enabling the passwordless connection in between node 1 and node 2. Done. This is your key. Whatever the key it is going to take, RSA key, passwordless connection, it is going to create it, and it is going to update your SSH folder with config backup things. Okay, we need to provide the grid user password once, that will read it, and then it will enable the passwordless one. I'm going to enter my grid password here. It is asking to enter your grid password. Okay. I'm going to provide the grid password over there. And then once you enter, guys, one more thing. I have entered the password, but in Unix level, right? The prompt will not show you the password. If you type it and then enter it, if it is wrong, it will give you the another window, re-enter. If it is right, it will allow you. That is the security for this Unix level prompts. Okay. It won't show you like Windows when you are trying to enter, right? Even in your banking site somewhere, you are trying to access your, typing your password, those will not, you cannot able to see it. When you have entered, it is going to dot, right? What happened to this? It's hanged. Oh, is it? See here, what is the script would be also revoking right permissions for the group and others. That's okay. I have entered the password, grid password here for node 1. Okay. And again, it is asking the grid password for node 2. So what will happen, right? When you are trying to access internally, or the server is trying to access internally using grid user, the password whichever we are going to provide, that will store both the nodes, and next time onwards it won't ask us. That is why the passwordless connection will work. Okay, now I am providing grid password for node 2. Okay, this is for node 1 and this is for node 2. And this is another side, it is asking password phase. This is also one kind of extra, like if you are putting some passwords and those passwords will ask you to create your short name to remember. If you are forgetting the password, how you can recall it? You can create a short name or you can give some a statement, something like that to recall it. So that's where we are going to give it one more time, grid password. And for pass phrases for node 2, grid grid password, done. So it is successful only. Setup has not been successful. If any errors has happened, verification, SSH verification is completed. Okay, these two SSH connections and RACS lab 1 to RACS lab 1, RACS lab 1 to RACS lab 2 successfully completed. So the grid one is completed, and the setup thing, if you want to enter the same thing using Oracle user, you can execute that to connect to the Oracle user and we can execute this. So from the Oracle user, if you want to allow the user passwordless connection, that will allow that as well. Okay. Let me take this one also. Where my script? Yeah. First, what it does is it is trying to ping the node 1. Okay, local node. It is pinging. Pinging means communication is there. And then it is trying to ping the node 2. So it is pinging. So communication is there. But what we need to achieve? We need to achieve the passwordless connectivity. So this is the 19C feature. I can say we can use this and then we can set up the passwordless connection. Earlier versions, as I said, that method, another method which I showed, generate the this one SSH feature. That method we used to use in earlier versions, but now we are going to use this method. Let me take off this. I can say passwordless connection. Here we are going to use it. Let me give this. And Oracle user also we need to do it. If you are using single user to configure a grid and database, that's one user is fine. But what we are doing is we are using two users. Grid for a separate OS user, Oracle software separate OS user we are using. That's where I'm going to take it. These things. Yeah, passwordless connection. RACS node 1, RACS node 2. That's it. Lab 1, lab 2. These are our hosts. We done that. And then next one is to connect Oracle user and execute the same script. So same node 1, we are going to connect with Oracle user and execute the same script. For that, I haven't connected Oracle user yet. So first time I'm trying to connect 192.168.0.21 server node 1. User is Oracle. Enter. It will first time it will prompt you the password. Next time onwards, it won't ask you the password. Okay, I have connected to this node. Let me take a duplicate session of this. Why? Because why I'm taking is first time when you connected, we will get this dot X authority does not exist. It's a kind of XAuth authentication, server level authentication related one. If I could take a duplicate session of this, I will not get that error. So first time you can see it. In that scenario, what you can see, what you can do is right click on this tab, take a duplicate tab. Duplicate means similar session, one more it will be open. So this is my node 1 Oracle user. Node 1 Oracle user I have connected. Multiple sessions we can open it here parallelly. node 1 Oracle user. This is also node 1 Oracle user. It's a grid user I connected. So node 1 I have connected with, this is root user. These files also there, no? I'll remove this as well for your easily understanding purpose. So node 1 I have opened 3 sessions. One session I connected with root user. Root user is defined with, you can see here is a username and host name, and here is the your hash symbol for root level admin privilege. And another user is grid user I connected, that will show you dollar prompt. Okay, dollar prompt grid user. Dollar prompt with normal users. Even Oracle also you will have dollar prompt. This is dollar prompt. It's the normal users. Now admin user and normal user difference is we can maintain to mount points. Any one of that mount point if you want to drop. Root is having admin privilege. If you connected with a root user, you can drop the grid user information. You can drop or delete or remove the Oracle user information. Any user information you can able to see it, you can able to modify, you can able to do anything. That's where this is maintained by the Linux admins. If they are OS is Linux, they are Linux admins, they are going to maintain this. Okay. As a DBA, we are going to maintain our grid user level activities, Oracle user level activities. Okay, guys, leave it. What I want to show you here is we need to run that script from this location also, u02 app, but we don't have that software. Yeah, it is copied. So it is already there, but in node 1 we unzip it, right? Node 2 we haven't connected yet. From node 1 connected to Oracle user, and I'm going to go to this deinstall location. From here, I'm going to execute that step. This step. So it is pinging on both the nodes with Oracle user. Earlier we did with grid user. Enter your Oracle password. For node 1 it is we have entered, and node 2 also it is asking to enter. I have entered, and it is asking passphrase. Node 2 also passphrase. Then it is done. It is successfully completed. So SSH verification is completed. Okay. Now we are good to proceed with further things. I'll show you the testing also. No, that I'll show you. Give me a minute. Let me take this snap. Node 1 using Oracle OS user and run the SSH command to enable passwordless connectivity under Oracle user. So earlier passwordless connection works with grid user. This one for grid user. If somebody is trying to connect, we are connecting to grid user to install our database. Sorry, grid infrastructure, ASM and cluster binaries, right? So at that time it will do the SSH connectivity to node 2, and there it is going to configure everything. Okay. And later we are going to install our database by using Oracle user. That also we can do it from node 1. And at that time, if the database files or database software related information, that will copy from node 1 to node 2 because of this information. We have enabled the passwordless connection. Okay. How that will work? We already enter our password, that will store it in OS level. As and when it is required internally, it will call it. We don't need to enter manually. That's where the passwordless connection will work. Okay, done. These two is done, and check the pre-checks for our RAC setup. We are good to proceed. Okay, we are good to proceed to install our RAC instance. So first what we need to do, cloud verify. Cluster CLU means cluster, VFI means verify. Cluster verify tool, what it does is in a stage means once you unzip your software, that place we call it as a stage location. It's a pre mode. Before installing the grid infrastructure, we call it as a pre stage level cluster related information check on node 1 or node 2. Verbose means it will show you the in detail information, step by step in detail information while it is going to execute. okay, while it is going to execute. Our node 1 is lab, RAC's lab 1, RAC's lab 2, perfect. Host name, if you want, you can take. Complete name also we can take, or half name. Why? Because we have made these entries into etc host. This is our fully qualified name, or it's a short name. Either you can give this also, it will work, and this also it will work. Okay guys, I want to show you this thing. SSH. I want to connect to RAC's lab 2 from labs lab 1. See, I was there with RAC's lab 1. By using SSH to this node, it is connected. It is not prompted to connect with password. That's where the passwordless connectivity is worked. Perfect, right? Passwordless connectivity is working fine. This way we need to check how the passwordless connectivity will work by using this command. SSH from node 1, I connected to node 2. Even from the grid user also we can check. Test passwordless connection from node 1 to node 2. This is the command. Okay, leave it. So we have lab 1 is our lab 1, RAC's lab 1. If I want, I can copy paste it. I don't want to take errors, other things. Okay, before running this command, we make sure that our ns lookup, our resolve.config, as I said, every bounce, whenever we are doing every bounce, our resolve.configuration file is going to modify it, right? We can connect with the root user, the node 1. We haven't touched node 2 yet, guys. We are doing everything on node 1. Okay, passwordless connection is enabled. Okay, let me check etc resolve.configuration. See, that file has been modified. It is not a original file. What we need to do is we can check our updated one. This one we need to make it back. Otherwise, our NS lookup will not work. So what I'm trying to do is copy this file to original file. Yes, it is asking overwrite. We have a few lines, H local domain and generating by network. These two lines already existed, right? These two lines will be overwritten. Now my etc resolve.config is having properly. That is one thing which we need to do. And node 2 also we will check. Otherwise we will get some issues. etc resolve.conf. It is also not good. Okay. This we need to modify with our updated file. This updated file is the good one. This one we are expecting, but here it is showing different one, right? It is not showing properly. That's where we need to copy this one to resolve.conf. All right, yes. Now our resolve.conf is properly updated. So once we updated the resolve.config back, what we need to do, we need to start the service restart named or named restart service, something it is their command. Let me take that command from our this location. This one, service named restart. Okay. Node 2 service named restart is done. Node 1 also I'm doing. Now you can check ns lookup cat etc. Otherwise, in a while we are configuring the cluster where there we used to get some issues, like it is showing DNS setup is not resolved or DNS setup unable to do this. Errors and warnings we used to get. Okay, cat etc host ns lookup. If you call with your rack scan, it should show all the IPs properly. It means ns lookup is working fine. Same command we can run it on node 2. It should show the same information. Why? Because our scans has been throughout cluster. Only 3 IPs we have assigned. So ns lookup is working fine. And one more thing, what we need to do is etc vara inventory location inv. This file is not there. Okay, leave it. Okay, as of now, only this thing you can check it. As part of that installation, if it is saying anything, I'll show you some of the fixups, how we need to do it. As of now, we are good, and then we can proceed. Pre-checks, check the ns lookup works. working fine or not. That is one check. Another check is check the passwordless connectivity working or not. This is one check. And other one is give full permission to grid home. Check the Vora inventory directory is there or not. Install the RPM related to cluster. This we missed it. Let me install this. Okay, just now I recalled. These things we need to check. What is the RPM which we missed? I'll this one, right? As part of our installation. So if this is the old method, we did not follow this method. Okay, we unzipped the software, okay, into our grid location. That is done. And we executed the passwordless connectivity. That is done. This one we need to do. This is our one of the RPM which is required for your cluster related thing. Okay, let me go to that location. We can connect to grid user and we need to execute that. Clear PWD. When we will get this location? Once you unzip the software only under your Oracle home, you will get this CV location. This is our Oracle home where we have unzipped all the softwares. In this location only, we will get the CV and RPM, CV RPM location. This directory will come. This we need to unzip it, guys. Okay, this we need to run from here. We need to install that RPM. How we need to install RPM-IVH to install another method. M update also we are going to use, but for this we are going to use RPM-IVH, this command. Okay, from this, let me execute RPMs. Everything I think we need to install from the root user, and RPMs will not allow to install it from local grid user. But if you want to see this file is there or not, we need to connect to grid user. Yeah, RPM has been installed. This is one kind of pre-check that we done this. This is the pre-check before running. And the same thing, resolve.config. This also we already checked, right? NS lookup is working fine now. Now we can initiate this. We can run this multiple times. Why? Because it is going to check the pre-checks before installing the cluster. Is there any issues is there? That will show you the clear information from the grid user, grid home location. We need to execute that clear. This is my grid home location where I have unzipped my software. Run cloudfy means run cluster verify script on stage. This is our stage. Check the pre-checks. Okay, and show me the clear information on both the nodes. Let me execute it. Vora inventory group is not found. That is one error. The default Vora inventory group could not determine. That's okay. As I said, right, Vora inventory, we need to check cat etc Vora inventory dot location. We need to update that. And then if any memory issues or if any other issues, see all the status is going to past. Wherever it is going to show failed or warnings, those we need to look into it. This is very, very important, guys. Okay, in real time, how we are going to work, I'll show you that as well. Most of the checks will work properly. Only one or few related to your Vora inventory that I know. I haven't updated the Vora inventory intentionally. And some other things also, passwordless connectivity in between node 2 and node 1. Yeah, see, we'll go through top and we can see all the errors one by one. This Vora inventory. I'll make sure I'll make it our Vora inventory path is there, but we haven't updated the Vora inventory. That I can do that. Okay, that is one thing is left. That's where it is going to fail. And the memory, it required 8388. As of now, it is available 7.4 and 7.5 on both the nodes. So minimum 8 GB, even though I have given the memory structure here 8192, you can keep 9000 like 9 GB. While installing, this is also going to fail it because of this memory. I'll do that as well. That is one thing. Memory is failed. That is one error. I'll note down these errors and we can work out it. Okay. Where I want to write it. Here I'll write it. Errors are warning which we need to fix. So for this fix, this is issue number 1. Issue number 1. For this fix is need to create Aura inventory on both the nodes, update etc Aura inst dot location. This file we need to update this Aura inventory. That is the fix. And issue number 2 is memory. We can increase, instead of 9, I'll make it 10 GB. Okay. This is not an issue. It's a memory kind of one. Our installation will work, but it is recommended to have this much of memory. Increase RAM size on both the nodes. Those are the 2 issues. We can fix up those 2. And other things, physical memory and everything is fine. This is also passed. All the mount points is having sufficient storage. That is fine. What is happening? We are using O install group. As admin, AS admin, or other groups, we are not going to use it. These we can leave it. Okay, these are not required. If we want to avoid this members also, we can create these groups, AS admin, ASM, DBA. Those also we can create and we can assign it. Okay. Issue number 3. Issue 3. Fix, create group ASM DBA, ASM admin, and assign to grid user. It is not required. This is not required for our side. Required. Okay, this is one issue. And issue number 4, what is going to show it? We'll check it. Groups exist? No. Users in group? No. Failed. That's where, if you can create and then assign it, and both the nodes kind of what, that will fine. No issues. And same, all things together, we call it, those 2 groups are missing, but we are not using at all. No need, right? That's why we are using O install instead of all individual groups. We are using O install. Hardware, soft pass, everything is passed. And some of the kernel, OS kernel, PFE, this is okay. Warnings, no need to bother about these things. Passed. Anyway, it's passed. It is not failed. It's a kernel setups. All the OS level things, it's passed only. There is no issues at all. And the TCP connectivity in between both the nodes, lab 1 and lab 2. Both the nodes is successfully connected. There is no issue at all. And CV disk RPM. Okay. We have installed on this node, right? It is missing on node 2. We need to do this RPM on both the nodes. Okay. Both the nodes we need to do. How we need to do on another node? We can use this command, whatever we have installed, this RPM, right? We can copy this RPM, whatever we have in this location, to node 2, any temp location or other location, SCP hyphen, which node, under root user, RAC lab 2 :tmp. So I have copied this from, guys, give me 1 second. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Give me 2 minutes. Okay, we have copied that RPM to fix that issue. We need to install this RPM on node 2 also. This issue is, let me take that issue here. This one. This package is missed. We have installed on node 1, but not on node 2. That is one issue. It's copy the RPM from node 1 to node 2 and execute it. That is one issue. That these are all small things. Even though if you can skip these things and proceed it, you can do that as well. Otherwise, as part of the cluster installation, it will give you the fix-up script also. All these things together, it will give you the fix-up. We can run that as well. That is fine. This interface, that's fine. There is not a kind of the gateway, right? It's unknown. We are not going to mention any kind of default gateway. Yeah, the IPs which we have configured in node 1. This is our public IP. This is a private IP on node 1. This is a public IP on node 2, private IP on node 2. Okay, this is a virtual IP. These we call it as ENPs. These things are interfaces, network level. Those also fine. There is no issue. These two are our private IPs. Okay, RAC slab 1, RAC slab 2, private IPs. And this is our subnet 10. Private IP, we make it separate subnet, and public is 00. This is our DNS resolution. All are network related things. If any issues, then only we can see it. What else? SCP, the related thing from RAC slab 1 to RAP 2, it is perfectly there, no issues. Destination connected, yeah, it should connect. It is required. And one more is failed because of verifying the node connectivity failed. Multicast, DNS related things only. This is for DNS one. NTP protocol also we have make it pass. This one we can avoid it. It is not a kind of issue. You can leave that verify node connectivity failed. It's already connecting. There is no issue at all. If you want, we can note down that issue also. Issue 5. Fix. No need to check. There is no need to bother about it. Verified user in the group root and does not exist. Comment does not exist. It's not an error. It's something comment it is going to check, but we need to check this one, passed or not. Okay. Comments, we haven't mentioned any kind of comments. That's where it is going to show it. IPv4, it is going to comment. Lab 1, status is failed. These things are okay, guys. It's a networkly related things. We don't need to bother about result.configuration, right? This is working fine. There is no issue about it. It's related to DNS one. We already checked NS lookup is working fine. There is no issue at all. We need to look for these things. Okay, DNS related things. Even though we make the properly, that result.config is going to show it. This expected errors only, this result.config. Why? Because we make it manually. We are not going to put in this thing. Result.config, we can avoid that. Issue 6, we identified. Fix up. Only NS lookup works fine. Leave this error. Issue number 7, it is showing some RPM or something. It is AVI daemon. This is also somewhere we are not going to do it. You can leave this error also. No need to bother about it. Leave that error. So all are related to the network things. We don't need to look that. The proxy we need to enable for this AUI related things. It's not required. We can avoid this. We can avoid that. Only high level things. It is going to, whatever I have noted down, right? That is going to highlight it here. First thing is physical memory, that we can do it by increasing the memory. How we need to increase? Here we can go ahead and then increase the, click on the system and the memory we have, right? We need to stop the service and then increase the memory. Okay. And here also for the node 2 also same thing. Stop the machine and increase the memory from 8 GB to 10 GB we can keep. That will be fixed up. And ASM, these groups we no need to look into it. But if you want to avoid this error warnings or something like that, we can give that is not an important thing. Okay, all these things are related to those only. And CVV, this CVUQ disk we already copied and we can install right away. That is one other thing. TCP connectivity is somewhere it is showing connected successfully. There is no issue. Leave this thing as of now. Same things, whatever we saw in above, those are high level headlines kind of one. These are all the things which we need to look into this. See, no response from the RACS lab 2 from DNS server, RACS lab 2.domain.com specified in the result.config. Okay. Was not resolved address of the specified by the RACS lab 2 resolve.config. Understand this. I'll do this resolve.config related thing also. Okay, guys, this is okay, no problem. We can do it quickly. This is our complete run Runcluvfy cluster verification before installing the pre-check. I'll do quick fix of these things and then we can get back. Again, we need to run the script again. I have copied this RPM, right? Let me use rpm-ivh command from the temp location on the node 2. I have connected to node 2. I'm going to install done. On node 2 also I have installed that. Okay, now one fix we already applied. From where I need, yeah, here we can see this one node 2 also we can run it. Copy the PACK package to node 2 and run it. Run it. Another one is another issue, which one we need to fix up? Vara inventory, right? Let me check that Vara inventory one. Where my Vara inventory? Yeah, this one. Whether we have this directory or not there. Let me check. The path is there. Yes, it is there on node 2. Let me take it here. Let's here. For Vara inventory, I have the path, but I don't have this entry. Let me check that entry is there or not. So that file itself, it is not there. So let me create it by using vi command and add this inventory and group into this location. Okay, that is done. Similarly, whatever we have entered, node 2 also we need to do, right? Node 2 also we don't have inventory. Edit, insert, copy paste this. Inventory underscore location u0 to app or inventory. That is our inventory location. Save it. So inventory we have now. Next time it is going to check with the inventory. That will fix up that error message. And DNS one, right? We saw something in a cat etc resolve.config. Resolve.config. In this file, it is saying that it is not going to make it a resolver. So what I can do is, okay, next time once we did this thing, right, I can modify that and then I can restart that one. We can do one thing, we can quickly check the fixups, whatever we noted down, issue 1, inventory. This I have created the inventory, right? I'll give you the fix. For this, I have created the inventory. Created the inventory on both the nodes. Done. Next one, we can increase the memory to 10 GB. For that, we need to shut down the service VM boxes. We'll do that. Okay. And issue number 3, these groups, right? ASMD, ASM, this thing. That is not an issue. But to avoid that, ID grid. ASMDB, ASMD, that groups is not there. Okay. Let me check whether we have a groups in server. Group. ASM we have not. having Aura install DBA open background DBA this one. So ASMDB groups are not there. So we can add that group. Okay, let me give you this AS admin group, ASM DBA group. These two groups we can add it, and then we can create the groups assigned to grid user. How to create a groups in our system? Let me show you that. Okay, Control F, group add, group. Yeah, here it is. So these two commands we can use it. This command we can use it. Group add and server 1 added, server 2 group added, and these two groups we need to assign to our this user, grid user and Oracle user. If you want, we can add it. User add. We already have that user add. Let me take it from here. Control F, user add. So in this way we can take simply -go install. All these things is there. We already have those information. What I can say is these groups already there. Okay, these groups already there. We will get some warning kind of one. Groups already exist one, but no issues. To grid user already exists. We are just assigning the groups. Install to Oracle. User already exists. No problem. The same thing we can execute it from this thing already exists. That's okay. Let me check it here. Now we can see etc groups. See these three groups added now extra. Okay, those I have assigned to grid user or not, we can see it. Now I have assigned ASMDB where RAC DBA is there, but that group is not assigned. That's okay. If you want to add that, I think we need to use different command, change mode, user mode. That is the one, right? User mode we need to use. User mode -G. User mode done. And for this Oracle, now we can see with the grid. Perfect. We have assigned ASM DBA, ASM admin, whatever the missing groups is there, we have created, and then we can assign it instead of user add. User already there, no, that's where it is going to throw that error. User mode we can use. If you want to create the user and assigning the groups, that we can use user add. So user mode will fix that your issue. Okay, lastly, we can go ahead creating the groups and assigning. This is our fix. And both the nodes we need to do done. And fourth issue fix up. This we already done, right? We have installed the RPM and copied to node 2 and then fixed it. This one is not required. Resolve.config one. What I'm trying to do is I'll modify that resolve.config. This we can avoid it, guys. These are all not that much of important. Leave this error also. Nothing we need to do anything. We have fixed all the issues. Now we can proceed with shutdown. Init 0 to stop your services on node 2. Init 0 is shutdown or stop the services on your machine. Okay. Init 6 means it will stop and restart it. So I have stopped on node 2. Let me increase my storage memory from, I can select 10 GB. That is fine. Memory, I can select it 10 GB. Done. 8 GB to 10 GB I have increased node 1 and node 2 I have increased. Now I can quickly start the services. Node 1 I have started, node 1 also. So both the services I have started. Give me 2 minutes, guys. We can wind up. for the day. Okay, I just check you one more time. We will run that script and we will see whether those issues has been fixed or not, and then we can wind up for the day. Tomorrow we will proceed with grid installation. So to add the new groups to existing users, we need to, no need to give all these things, only that one, whatever we are going to give, that also we can give it. Sometime only specific groups only it is going to. These many groups is not required, guys. Unnecessary thing. Unnecessarily we are giving, but only we are using O install. That is more than enough. In real time, right? For each and every activity, if somebody is doing data guard activity, right? Data guard setup at that time, specific users, they are going to use this group. And somebody is using RAC, they will not use for O install, they will use for RAC DBA. Somebody configuring the ASM related things, they can use these ASM related groups. But even though in a real time, best practice, you can use unique group for all the activities. Okay. Services started. Let me connect it to node 1, node 2 also. After we started the services, immediately what we need to look? We need to look for the etc resolve.config. That will modify, right? So ls-ltr etc resolve.conf. You can mention star. I want to copy back this one to here as a result.conf. That is done. And node 2 also we need to check the same thing. I want to copy back that one to resolve.config. And what else I want to look is cat etc, right? I want to make sure only one entry here. Here also I want to modify this, the existing one. Only I'll keep one entry, delete this. Name server, lax lab 1, that is fine. Now we can use service restart. Once we have verified, no, we need to run the command service restart of named service restart, service named restart on both the nodes. Done. Done. These two we need to do every time, but we have that rw plus I some command is there. I'll share it later. As of now, you can use the same thing. Cat etc host ns lookup. That is fine. It's working fine. NS lookup should work. Yeah, that is fine. Now we can connect it to grid user on node 1. Node 1 only. We are not doing anything. We are just doing the setups on node 2. But go to U02 19C and grid location. Here we are going to check our pre-checks script, run cluster verify. In real time, what we'll do, right? This we will run once we have unzipped the software, and then we need to run this script. We used to get all these errors, right? Whatever we are seeing, some etc inventory is missing, or storage, this one 8 GB is required, and these groups are failing. All these error messages we will share with our OS team. Operating system needs to fix these issues. We are not going to take that. Okay, we will share that error message with them. They are going to work on that issue. That is the in real time scenario. For our end, to avoid in real time, right? We know, right, how much memory is required, what are the prerequisites, everything as part of our plan only. We are going to give the documentation, and what are all the commands Unix team needs to execute. We need to share those commands with Unix team. They will execute it. Okay. Run cluster verify. I have executed. See, now we are not going to see most of the errors. Almost all should work fine. Why? Because we have first time also, I know that inventory and other things, I have intentionally kept that. Why? Because the importance of this script, I want to show you guys. That's where. Whatever I said we need to avoid, those will come, that we can avoid it. That is a normal thing. It is not unexpected or something, it's phishing kind of one. It's okay. Wherever you are going to see the fail, those are this, yeah, done. Now it is fine. We can go through the step 1 onwards and we can come back. Okay, from here, memory sufficient. We require 8 GB. If you want to put, you can put 8400. You will not get that warning. Okay, I have given 10 gig. It's a sufficient. I will not get any error. Mount points, everything is fine. Groups, see here, we have added the groups also. Now it is passed successfully. And inventory error, initially we got inventory error, that is also not shown. But why? Because we have created the inventory and add the inventory entries. This is warning. Earlier also we saw there is no issue at all, that is fixed. And CLU package, that also we haven't received any error. So it is a great, and we successfully updated everything. Now what we need to do is we need to run the grid setup one. That's it. These are all the unknown comments. That is okay. We can avoid that. Don't worry about this node connectivity fail thing. This is a kind of warning for DNS setup, for multicasting, DNS supported related things. No worries. You can avoid this. It is not harm to your cluster setup. Okay. This is just a comment, not error. IPv4, it's a network level status. That's okay. No issues. We can avoid that. This integrity resolve.configuration. Earlier it is showing node to 1, right? Now it is showing something, but okay, integrity is failed because we manually updated the DNS, that we can expect it. Earlier it is showing resolve.config node 2 is not able to find out, that we have removed it and we have not get that error. Resolve.config. This one failed. Something like that one, right? We have updated the NS1, that is fine. You can leave that, you can avoid that such kind of issues, no problem. AVIHI daemon, it's something like in a real time also, I don't think so we are going to able to identify this. This is something network level or OS level. That's we can avoid. It won't harm or it won't stop you to install your cluster. So these are all high level things. At the time of cluster installation, you will see these warnings. We can able to avoid these things and then we can proceed those. And most of them is successfully completed. I'll share this successful setup. Tomorrow we will connect and then we can execute root.sh straight away. Okay. All the prerequisites we have reached. It is successfully executed. Where I'll make one separate one, or do I need to put it here? I'll put it here. This is important to cross check from your end also when you are going to do this. What are all the checks it should complete and what are all the warnings we can avoid. So you can, by using this reference document, you can do it. Tomorrow we can directly go ahead and then initiate the grid setup one. Okay. Yeah, it is going to take another 30 minutes and then quickly we can close tomorrow. Tomorrow mostly we can complete database portion also. Grid install and database configuration. Okay guys, any doubts for this session?